Hello, I am Joseph Joestar316, and I'll be doing this submission video for Winback Covert Operations on PS2. Last submission video I did was about 2 years ago, and more optimizations and skips were found since then. I will be running this on easy difficulty, which is the fastest, and I'll be running through the full game. Once I click new game, and the time will end on the final hit against Cecile, the final boss of the game, which will start in 3, 2, 1.
This way!
So, Winback was developed for the N64 back in 1999. Despite, being, what it was for its time, it was actually a pretty interesting take on, cover-based shooters, which was not an entirely common mechanic back then. But the remake that was done like 2 years later for the PS2 did some quality of life improvements, such as updated graphics, soundtrack, the controls, having an actual save system tied to a memory card, the overall HUD layout, as well as the enemy guards themselves and many other things. One of which is the guards are more vocal. They say more things throughout the game versus the original. As well as the voice acting that we'll hear from Jean-Luc and other characters throughout the game, which, again, the original game didn't have the voice acting. So what I'm going to do here is take out this guard in the middle. Doing so will make these two move off to the side. For some reason, there are certain things you can do in the game that influences the guards to, do certain things, either move position, some will spawn in or, not spawn in. So, I'm going to be setting up to bypass this blue motion sensor.
What the hell is this? Some kind of sensor?
Again, just confirming that it is indeed a sensor. So, the two different types of laser sensors we'll deal with throughout the game are the blue motion sensors, which will typically trigger an alarm, either spawning in extra guards or tied to another trap. The red lasers are the more lethal kind, which will kill you in one hit, regardless of however you hit it and what your HP is. So thankfully for this trap here, we can just roll right underneath it safely. Alright, let's see if this guy will be a pal and tell me which way the exit is. Okay, maybe him nudging me on my back was kind of his way of saying it's that way. So the weapons throughout the game that I'll be using. The first is the pistol. It's got overall good range, good damage, has a laser. Well, actually, all the weapons have a laser sight, but the ammo is infinite, which will be very beneficial for this category. The other two weapons, being the submachine gun and the shotgun, are limited use where you have to find ammo throughout the game in order to continue using them. Those will be used for certain areas of the run. The pistol will be the overall preferred weapon. And as I did before on stage 1, I'm just only dealing with guards as needed. Some guards you have to take out in order to advance, others is just easier if you take them out. While other ones could just be ignored completely. At the behest of, getting shot at, which is a constant factor throughout the run. So, I deactivated that conveyor because I pressed it twice. Yeah, I got a little button happy there. Let's try it again. There we go.
Over there!
Alright, so because I did this off cycle, I'm gonna have to wait for this container to move over before I get a clean shot on the sensor. Alright, so coming up is Probably one of the hardest early game skips in the game, which is this laser trap here. What I'm gonna do is get shot at intentionally, so I get iframes, so I can run up, kick this guard off to the side, and I'm gonna line Jean-Luc up at just the right spot on this wall here, so that when I get shot in the back, I'll hopefully fall forward, so I can fall through the laser trap safely. Excellent. So what happened there is whenever you get shot in the back, Jean-Luc does this, you know, long fall forward animation, which if done at the right distance from the laser trap, it will allow you to fall through safely and land on the other side without dying, because normally, you know, touching the laser, you know, results in an automatic death. But for some reason, if you line up the sweet spot, as I would call it, it allows you to take advantage of bypassing, you know, parts of the stage, which we'll be doing quite a bit. Alright, so that guy was just being nice, and he took out the sensor for that laser trap I just skipped, so definitely a round of applause for them as we make our way back. Because now that we got the key to actually leave the stage. Alright, so what I'm going to do there is, on occasion, I will just kind of shoot at a guard, but not to kill them. Getting hit and shooting them will produce like a stagger, as you can see. And at times, I'll take advantage of that so that I can kind of close the gap, you know, be able to, you know, minimize my encounter with them if possible. Whereas I'm taking them out here just for safety, since I did take a lot of damage getting here. Alright, so we're going to be doing this laser skip again, which is going to be right after this cutscene. Alright, so we're just going to line up against this container. Get shot in the back. Okay, unfortunately I was a little too far away, but that's alright. The benefit to doing this laser skip over the other one is even if you should fail it, the reset time is not as lengthy. And it's still faster to do it this particular way than what was intended, which is for you to maneuver around to find the laser sensor and then take it out. Alright, so that's, you know, like the one before where you take advantage of the iframes when you're shot forward. And just to prove a point that, yeah, the laser only works so far. You know, normally you would expect that that laser goes all the way through and it kills you, but I think when they developed that trap, it was only just in that small space. So it's always a funny thing when I just like I'm sweating trying to skip it, and then as I get through on the other side, I just run right through it as if it's not there. Alright, so this is another type of defensive fortification trap, which is a manned turret. So what I'm going to do here is just aim ever so carefully underneath the turret here. There's a small gap where you can shoot this guard out. The turrets will basically melt you down before you know it. It deals a lot of damage. Very little things you can do about, you know, dealing with them directly. So what I'm going to do is take out that sensor off in the distance. It's one of the few sensors you can actually shoot at, despite the fact you don't see, like, the red crosshairs lock onto it. It's just a small time optimization. Speaking of which, what I'm going to do here is hug the wall here, because if you approach that corner there, what would happen is it would trigger a cutscene, which would not only enable the laser trap, preventing you from exiting, it would also just show other guards moving around, spawning. It just loses you time. Also, a very conveniently placed key on the ground. So that key is gonna unlock the door back at that building over there, which is gonna give us access to dropping down a ladder, which will give us a vantage point to shoot out the laser sensor from before, where it's preventing me from leaving. Also, we're going to be getting the rocket launcher, which is a limited use weapon, unlike the SMG and shotgun, only due to the fact that the SMG and shotgun are permanent weapons that you can carry, but the ammo is as you have it. But the rocket launcher is a limited weapon where once you run out of ammo, the weapon disappears from your inventory, which is only going to be used for certain things in the game. Alright, so with the laser sensor destroyed, we can actually leave the stage now and enter the office complex.
Over there!
Yep, thank you for telling me. You know, it's just pointing out where it is. Alright, so I'm gonna try to close the gap, and I did get it. Alright, so coming up is the first boss fight of the run, which is against Leela. Her main weapon is the M60. And yes, she is very cheery mood. So we're gonna take out this other guard while Leela just kind of does her thing where she just runs around shooting. And then you'll notice every time I fire and then she counterfires, I kind of move out of the, you know, her line of sight.
Cecile!
Yep, there's the exclusive voice acting I was talking about. One of the things you'll see me do throughout the game against most of the bosses is I will attack and evade, which is a mechanic where you're taking advantage of the fact that the enemies aim like center target lock, and you're allowing the shots to trail behind you as you're weaving around their gunfire, which is not only a way of, you know, protecting yourself, but it's also buying you time in between iframes when you're dealing damage to them. So we're in the office complex, which is the next set of areas that we'll be in. The first 4 stages were the outer ground. The office complex will last for the next, I think it's like 9 to 10 stages. So we're just gonna, well, try to take out that guard. Alright, so this next part could be a little bit difficult, where we're basically gonna try to run through this as best as we can. Where again, I'm just gonna do a stagger shot, buying me time to, you know, press this button to extend the bridge. Alright, so I'm just gonna gain iframes there. Try to roll past where I can, and okay, so that wasn't too bad. Alright, so coming up is a section where you have to eliminate the guards in order to proceed. Whereas up until this point, I've just been evading most of them. So we're gonna use the shotgun while posted up against this set of barrels here, which gives me a sufficient vantage point to hopefully get all of them at once. Or at least you get them down like one at a time. Alright, so in the context of the story, since I didn't really explain it at this point what Winback is all about. Basically, terrorists took over a control facility which has possession of a super weapon satellite, referred to as the Gulf satellite. It's basically a super weapon which can destroy anything a target locks onto with a brilliant flash of light. It has a 3-hour cooldown charge, which, funny enough, is tied to which type of ending you can get in Winback, which, believe it or not, there are different endings. You know, the speed run incentivizes you to get the good ending, which is getting to the control room in less than 3 hours in-game time. Whereas the bad and worst endings are tied to being later than 3+ hours, meaning the terrorists, you know, fire the weapon multiple times.
I'd better go after Tom.
Oh, good thing for reminding me. So for now, we're just kind of making our way through this facility while trying to meet up with some of our teammates that were jettisoned from a chopper that was on the way over to this place. And the main objective for the counter-terrorist operation is not only just to take out the bad guys, but it was to reach 2 elevators, one being an express elevator, which gives you direct access to where the satellite control facility is, whereas the freight elevator is not as a direct path, but will eventually lead you to the Gulf, you know, satellite control room. So it kind of takes you a little bit out of the way. They were instructed to secure both elevators, and while at the same time we're gonna be disarming these bombs, which we're gonna find out in just a couple of minutes here. Alright, so they planted 5 bombs throughout the office complex, which, through one of our teammates, Tom, he rigged a bomb sensor together, which you can see in the upper right corner of the screen, which will have a flashing red indicator plus a beep when you're near a bomb, which thankfully, you know, we know where the bombs are. They are consistent. You don't have to, like, go looking for them, you know, very in depth. But before we can do any of that, we're just going to be taking out this laser sensor. What I'm doing is the safer way of handling this, because normally there's a faster way of getting by not 1 but 2 of these laser traps coming up, which involves a really well-timed roll followed by a second roll or getting shot through like I did before earlier. But it's very risky for a full run, but it does save you, I think it's like around a minute, if done perfectly. So what I'm going to do is shoot that one guard off to the right, which is going to make them run off to the back. And I'm just going to line Jean-Luc up ever so carefully, which I did get. So again, just taking advantage of the forward iframes. Alright, so that beeping sound is indicating that, you know, there's a bomb in this room. So we're just going to collect this med kit for the damage that I took.
This must be one of the bombs we heard them talking about. That's 1 down.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So that's the first of 5. And we're going to be making our way back through that hallway we just came from to go downstairs. Okay, it can be a little scary trying to maneuver around those hallways like that, but thankfully you made it through just fine. Alright, so this laser right here, you don't technically have to do this, but it looks really cool when you do get it. So what I'm going to do is line Jean-Luc up in just the right spot, where what I'm going to be attempting to do is get this shot off on the sensor that's on the other side of this blown shutter door. The margin of error for getting this shot is very tight. Because as you can see, even though the laser dot is on it, you need to have the crosshairs in order to acknowledge that it can be shot at. more. A little bit more. Oh. Yeah, see, that razor thin margin is what I was talking about. Like, you have such a really limited window to get a shot while also trying not to die to the laser that you're, you know, nuzzled up against there. Hey, MZ, thank you for the 5-month resub. Alright, so what I did there is destroy a wooden box there, which was covering a laser sensor. And what we're gonna do here is cut through this area to go take it out. So what I'm gonna do here is only just knock out one of these two guards, because eliminating both will trigger a cutscene, which will point you out to go to this room to take out that sensor. So it's just another small time save. All right, so we're gonna pick up this magazine clip, pick up the second bomb.
That's 2 down. 3 to go.
Wait a minute, wasn't there just a guard there? Disappeared. Yeah, that's one of the things I was talking about, where depending on what part of the game and what it is that you're doing, some guards will just despawn, like that guy did in the bathroom. Alright, so this next area, they got really, really carried away. I mean, they just packed this room with explosive boxes, which thankfully I could just step away from it, shoot it before triggering this cutscene. I mean, I don't know, maybe they just came back in, like, after all the boxes blew up and didn't realize what had exactly happened, but, in short, trying to get through here without taking out the boxes ahead of time is usually a death sentence, because once one goes, they all go.
Jean-Luc.
Lisa.
Oh yeah, that was one of the other characters on this game, which are Jake and Lisa, who are also trying to help find the bombs throughout the facility here. Fun fact, the voice actress for Lisa is the same person that does the voice acting for Leela, the first boss fight earlier. It was something I didn't realize at first, although I can kind of hear a resemblance, and after some research, it ended up being the case where it was by the same person. Kind of funny how they're both playing the good and the bad guy in the same game. Alright, so we're double backing through this sewer system here because they blocked off the stairwell, which if you were to go there, you can just see that, yeah, you can't pass through it. So we're just going to be going through these areas as best I can, and like I said, the ongoing gunfire is just a thing you have to deal with throughout the whole game. The nice thing about it, though, compared to the original, is the guards have to reload their weapons when they run low on ammo, right, to get a new magazine clip in. Also, that was a really nice shot on that sensor, by the way. The guards have to reload their guns like you do, whereas in the original game, they never have to reload, which is, at a lot of times, absurd when you're trying to speed run. Alright, so we're gonna tap that guy in the back. And then we're just gonna fire off our gun here, which is gonna get their attention. It makes it so that this guard won't exactly cut off that corner. And same as before, I'm just trying to get through from one side to the other. Alright, there's another turret emplacement, which we'll deal with that in a minute. Alright, so I'm gonna go to this control here, which is gonna raise the water up. Excuse me, which way? Maybe he was shy. But we're basically gonna go back through, except this time, we're gonna use their own weapons against them. As you can see, the terrors from the Crying Lions aren't exactly very bright. You know, enemy takes possession of one of their turrets, and their only thing to do about it is just charge right into it. Again, another stagger shot so I can reach the door. Oh, how nice of this guy to show me the way. Alright, so we're going back up here through this part of the office again, which is going to be now opened up to find the next bomb. Alright, so we're going to take out this guard, followed by that wooden box over there. Alright, so we're going to take out this box. And this explosive one, which will take out a guard that's right near it. Alright, now this next part could be a little scary. So I'm gonna just try my best here, where I'm just gonna try to maneuver around, pray that I don't get shot at while trying to get to this door, which thankfully I was shown mercy that time. Sometimes they can be really mean when you're trying to get to, you know, the other side of the room. So this guard disabled this electric circuit to this door, which was, you know, meant as a way of baiting me in. Which, of course, they did. They locked the door behind me. They're like, ha, we got him. Alright, unfortunate for them, I meant for them to do that, because we're just gonna clear out this room as we normally would, except we're trying to be very cautious not to hit any of the explosive boxes in here, because that container in the middle is filled with a poison gas. And if that were to be... if you were to explode the boxes and that gas disperses, not only does it slowly kill you, but you get a cutscene showing guards coming in with gas masks, and it just makes your life miserable trying to get out of here. Excuse me, which way did you exit? Thank you, guy. What'd I tell you? Don't need a map. Alright, so normally I don't play the cutscenes very little, if at all. But this one, I'll play part of it just to give you an idea.
Jeez, Jean-Luc, you scared the hell out of me.
Sorry about that. Guess I should have knocked. Any progress?
They've got this thing wired like a Christmas tree, but I think I can crack it. I just need more time. How's your search going?
I haven't found them all yet.
Then what are you doing here?
Okay, I had to end that before I really lose it. I mean, it's just like, then what are you doing here? Yeah, the cutscenes, I mean, it's comical, like I said before. You know, if you want to have a good time just playing a game and sitting back and enjoying what it has to offer, I suggest, you know, Winback for that very reason. So we're gonna shoot out that sensor for that part of the hallway which was blocked off, which is gonna be going to the next boss fight, which is against Leon the Hunter. Nope, not Leon from Resident Evil 2, and of course, despite Jean-Luc's uncanny, like, resemblance. Alright, so we're gonna pick up medical kit. So, Leon's weapon of choice is the shotgun, which, before we do anything to him, we're just gonna take out 2 guards in here, and we're just gonna basically take cover, trade shots, take cover, trade more shots.
Pitiful. The hunter became the hunted.
What's awesome about that is that he said that while dying at the same time. I didn't know you could do that. So, Leon was guarding the 3rd bomb out of 5, which, in the context of the story, we later find out that Jake and Lisa, in their search, found 2 of the other bombs, so we don't have to find them ourselves. Alright, so you remember Tom, you know, the guy that said, yeah, this thing's wired like a Christmas tree, I got it, you know, what are you doing here? Well, rip Tom.
Oh, man. Not you.
Rip Tom.
This must be the security code. Tom.
Poor guy. So, while Tom was trying to figure out the security access code to not the express elevator, but it's the elevator leading to the express elevator, he got shot in the back. But right before he died, he wrote the code to it. You know, so that Jean-Luc can use that knowledge, you know, to continue forward. Alright, so this area is probably one of the most frustrating stages of the office section, because this laser here is extremely unforgiving. The margin of error is very little, where you have to wait for the laser to cycle to the very top before you can try to cross it. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure they're not gonna shoot me while attempting to cross it. Alright, I got one more. Yeah, like I said, the laser goes up, pauses for a bit, and then comes right down. And when you roll underneath some lasers, you have some space for safety, but that laser trap, it's like at the very bare minimum of what it takes to just roll underneath it, and you have to do it when it's at a pause, because any time before or after will most likely kill you, and dying on that part of the stage is not fun. I lost a lot of good runs to it. So we're back in this area again. And as you guessed it, they didn't do anything with this turret fortification, so I could just use it against them again. Yeah, like I said, their tactics is, you know, not the greatest. So what we're doing is we're rejoining Jake and Lisa at the sub-elevator, if you will, which was at stage 5. But, you know, Jean-Luc looks like he has something to say, like something's just weighing on his mind.
I have to get to the express elevator on the lowest level.
Okay, man. Man, he's definitely in great distress. Also, fun fact, that guard that just ran into that laser does it every run. He is just scripted to touch it. I'm not kidding. In the original game, it does the same thing. They even carried that over when they remade this game for the PS2. So, thank you, devs, for carrying that over. Uh-oh. Okay, that was a little iffy, but it's no biggie. Yeah, sometimes trying to get in between guards like that can be very dangerous, because not only of them doing a counter melee or a kick, sometimes even with a knife, but the melee hitbox is very short when it comes to like what iframes you gain from it. You know, meaning you can kind of get punched around like a pinball if you're too close to, you know, groups of enemy guards together. Alright, so they got a little bit more creative with the laser wiring this time around. Somehow able to, I don't know, drill through this wall. So we're gonna go for this outer sensor first. And then we're gonna go for the other one on the inside.
Big way.
Alright, so we're just gonna quickly take out both of these guards. Alright, I wasn't fast enough. If you're lucky, you can get this sensor shot like when this laser is cycled in the back, which gives you just the minimum line of sight to take it out. Alright, so we're at the sub-elevator now. We're gonna be going up against Brian, whose weapon of choice is the submachine gun and grenades. The unique thing about Ryan is, well, he's gonna guard this elevator to his dying breath, to the point where he just doesn't move away from it. So we're just gonna kind of do the same things as, well, what I was trying to do, because I didn't see that grenade coming at me. It's alright, it happens. So same thing, I'm just gonna try to do this right. And then use the explosive box against him, which sometimes he moves around a bit if you shoot him. Okay, there we go. So what he'll do is he'll kind of stay in place. You trade shots with him, he'll throw grenades. And like, no matter what you do, he just always goes back to the elevator. And long story short, just before he dies, he takes a grenade to the call button, destroys it, which also kills him with it. So express elevator died. We can't use it. So in context of the story, we're now told to go to the freight elevator, which is in a factory area nearby. Which was that, you know, 2 elevator thing I was talking about from before. So this is one of several auto-scrollers. Fun fact, on N64 Winback, there actually is a way to clip through these moving boxes, which you have to line yourself up along with using C4 to allow Jean-Luc to kind of clip through it. Unfortunately, because the way the collision factor works with PS2 Winback over the original, we can't do that skip. You know, but it does save you quite a bit of time, you know, if you should get it. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Yep, just gotta keep that smiley going. So we're gonna be rendezvousing in this area that you may have seen before, where it's set in between to that area with the filled water. Except we're on the other side of this laser trap this time. So we're gonna take out that sensor right there.
Hold it!
Oh, thank you. Except I will hold it here. Just let those guys run by, and then I just go up the stairs. Alright, I'm just gonna grab a magazine clip there. Also, somehow they gain the ability to move these boxes with their feet by just kicking at it. So I guess they're maybe not as bad as I thought they were. Alright, so what I'm doing there is taking out the box in the middle while leaving this second guard up there. Only because if you take both of them out and you cross to that area where the door is, it triggers like an extra cutscene where a guard spawns in, like behind you. Okay, things were getting a little dicey there, but not to worry. Made it through just fine. Wow, nice headshot. You know, again, it's just taking advantage of staggering them to get past them. All right, so we're about to wrap up the office section, and of course, them telling me where the exit is. Very helpful of them. So remember that thing where, you know, I kind of made a point about this way? Well,
Come on!
yeah, we're going to be hearing that a lot from now on. Like I said, it's exclusive to PS2 Winback. On N64, they, for whatever reason, don't shout out, "This way!" There's just something fun about it, like just from playing it all this time. So we're taking out a lock to a locked door, which is going to give me access to controls lowering the water, so I can gain access to yet another key. I don't know, man. I mean, they just leave these keys all over the place. So just gonna take out these two guards here. Lower the water. Oh. Alright, so there's the key, and... Oh, excuse me, which way to get back over there?
This way!
You know what I mean? What's up, Jay?
This way! Yeah.
Alright, so we're just double backing to that room. Alright, and then we just grab the key and leave. Pretty straightforward.
Over there!
Alright, so the locked door is right here. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is grab this flashlight. It's gonna be another attachment to all of our weapons now. And the flashlights in this game, I mean... They really made them bright. I mean, maybe a little too bright. Which way? Alright, so I'm gonna try to carefully take out these two guards here.
Over there!
Oh, thank you. Alright, now this one of the door is a little bit scary, so I'm just gonna concentrate for a second.
Over this way!
Alright, good. Yeah, that can get really bad really quick when you're trying to get to that door, because the shotguns are very, very scary. They're the highest damage dealt to you in the game. And remember that thing about explosive boxes? Well, there they go again with... Oh. Run, Jean-Luc, run! Alright, so thankfully, if you either reach the left corner of that floor or run up the stairs, the explosive blocks just won't kill you. Because if you're anywhere else, most of the time you're gonna get killed. Alright, so we're tasked with getting yet another key for a locked door, which this key is going to be for exiting the stage. Now, I'm going to leave this guard up that's manning the turret while moving side to side, using the boxes as cover. Well, trying to use them as cover.
Over here!
Oh, thank you. And the reason why I'm keeping that guard alive is if you take out all the guards and go to reach the key, it'll trigger a cutscene as well as waves of guards that come in, just wasting your time. Alright, next boss is Sergeant Thunder, whose main weapon is the flamethrower, along with 2 guards and gondolas, would just make your life miserable. So we're just gonna do our best to ignore them while dealing damage directly to Sergeant Thunder himself. Now, his flamethrower can melt you down, I mean, quite literally, in terms of damage dealt if you allow him to. Oh, wait, careful, that's... Oh, never mind. Yeah, so what I was referring to is despite the fact this is on easy, the flamethrower in this game does a lot of damage to you. You know, I don't know why, but thankfully you can just, you know, shoot, evade, and, you know, just make it through just okay. Also, thank you for keeping the door open. Alright, so what that does is it's going to activate power to that room for those gondolas where those guards were. Alright, so we're just going to take out that explosive box here, opening that pathway while conveniently killing that guy next to it.
Come on!
Alright, I'm gonna try to do this with a pistol because I didn't get ammo from before. Yeah, normally I use the SMG to take these guys out. Alright, and I'm gonna take out this laser sensor from right here. Maybe hard to see, but it's right in that corner there on the ground. Okay, yeah, that's what I was talking about with, like, some of the deadlier melee attacks where they use the knife. Does a lot of damage. Don't preferably want to put myself in that situation, but sometimes you can get through without, you know, losing a whole lot of time, if not just putting yourself at great risk. So we're gonna let this gondola move us over while I'm taking out 2 laser sensors ahead of time. And in the meantime, we're just gonna play whack-a-mole with the guards in here while hopefully hearing a "this way" as a response. Which way? Recording submission luck. Again, you don't have to take them out, it's just funny to troll them. Hey! How about another this way? From that guy over there. This way? Alright, so now that we're through on the other side, we're gonna go through on the other one, which is gonna give me access to the key that I need to exit the stage. Kind of an ongoing theme. Find a key, leave the stage. Also, something this way. This way? You should watch out for that laser right there. Never mind. Alright, so I'm just gonna take out that guard, blow up that box, as well as the sensor to the electric circuit on the door so I can open it. Alright, so there's the key to exit the stage.
Over there!
Sorry, buddy, only room for one. Yeah, the funny thing about, you know, doing this at any point in the game is like how quickly they forget you're there. So like they shoot at you and then a couple seconds go by and they lower their guns and they just forget you're even there. Wait, who are we shooting at? I swear I saw something. Okay, how about it this way before we exit the stage? Alright, well, at least we got a couple out of them. Alright, and that is the end of that stage. Alright, stage 18. Probably one of the longest ones for the factory.
Over here!
There's a lot of backtracking, going up and down. Lots of guards. And of course this way. I always gotta, you know, remind myself of that. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm making my way over to a control panel which will move a container over. Which is which way again? Thank you. Alright, so the container is being moved. The stairwell is open.
Over here!
Alright, just skipping out of another cutscene. Thank you. Alright, I'm just gonna make a wide turn because there is a guard that covers that corner, and if you're not careful, you can get meleeed. Alright, so I'm now back in that main conveyor room, which this time I'm gonna be climbing up the ladder on this side. I'm gonna send that container back over. Use their turret conveniently placed here. It's gonna take all those 4 guys out. Okay, I thought I saw another one, and okay, there's even another one behind him. Alright, so we're gonna press the button on that control panel there to move some of the wooden boxes around, which is gonna create more platforms to be able to move across on. And what this will do is give me access to the rooftop, which has another laser sensor, or I'm sorry, a sensor for an electric circuit, which is preventing you from actually exiting the stage. Sorry, no lock keys this time. I guess that guy was upset when I said that. I was like, what? No locked doors for a key? Come on!
This way!
Trying to carefully space out my shots there, because managing your ammo and your life is, in addition to movement, you know, very critical, but at times it is easy to lose sight of what your current ammo is for your weapons, especially when, you know, you're mainly using the handgun. Alright, so we disabled the sensor, and we're just gonna make our way back to the ladder, or try to. Alright, there we go. this was that lengthy double backing I was talking about, where you gotta go all the way back. But I guess while we're here, grab some shotgun shells. Alright, and we're gonna go up the ladder in this corner to exit the stage. Oh yeah, and as you may have noticed throughout this game, whenever your life bar goes below the green color, when it goes into yellow and red, the music for the stage changes. You know, so like green bar will play whatever the default music is, whereas yellow and red kind of change it to where it kind of makes things a little more Among-us, if you will. And I gotta say, it's pretty effective. It does make you, you know, really make you heighten your senses and really try to, you know, approach with caution. Yo, guy over there. Which way? Yep, telling you, you don't need a map. I mean, there actually is a map in the original and in this game, but, you know, after speedrunning this for some time, I say to myself, well, the map is nice and all, but I got these guys. Yeah, they're trying to kill me and make me lose time, but, I mean, they're very helpful navigators. I mean, think about it, in a day where you would just look up a YouTube vid or a game facts guide on what to do, you got these guards. They're just as helpful when they're not trying to kill you. Alright, so for stage 20, again, it's going to involve some double backing, but not nearly as long as the one on stage 18. Alright, so... Oh, yep. Thank you for telling me. Just making it clear which way it is. Alright, so I'm gonna take out... I take out these guards as I'm running through. And I'm gonna roll right around this corner, line up to this barrel, which is gonna give me view to that lock on the wall there. Okay, so now we can go back. Okay, this is where, again, things can get a little tense, because you're trying to run through while everybody, I mean, quite literally everybody in the room shooting at you. Alright, thankfully I didn't get hit too badly on the way back. Alright, so this is going to activate a set of cranes, which is going to lift these containers up and down. And I'm going to attempt to try to go through in one cycle. But before we do that, I'm going to blow up this box when the three of them meet up in the middle, which will get them all at once.
Over there! Come on!
Alright, so I'm going to run through. And I got it. So I was trying to time the movement in the beginning just right. There's a guard that was prone that will fire a set of shots at you, which will stop you in place, and that little interference is all that it takes from preventing you from getting a one cycle, trying to get through the other side. Alright, so in this room, thankfully, all we gotta do is just run. Run, and keep running. Okay, maybe on occasion get shot at and take damage from an explosion, but just keep running. Okay, I guess the terrorists didn't get the message about just keep running. Sometimes it can happen. I mean, I got really unlucky that not only one, but two explosives were detonated on me. Oh, yep. Okay, that one was on me. I got stuck trying to get around him. But thankfully, there is a medkit on the other side of this area over here, where we're now going to be faced up with our next boss, Duke, whose weapon of choice is the minigun, as he happily does a 360. So we're just going to do the same thing as before, where we're going to shoot, evade during his iframes, shoot again. My favorite part about that fight is the fact that the minigun is still turning, like, as he's laying there dead.
Over here.
Oh, and the overly, you know, overly ridiculous, like, death noise, where he goes from being a tough guy with a minigun to sounding like a, old man, like, this, like, last moments. I don't know, don't ask me, I just run the game. Okay, so we're back in the underground sewage system. Alright, so we're gonna blow up these boxes with some C4 that I picked up from way earlier. It'll help clear this a little bit easier. Okay, they're not being nice, so I'm just gonna, well, try to take them out. Okay, there we go. Alright, so coming up here, I'm gonna take out this box, which is gonna blow up a barricade, so I can pass through it later. Well, I was attempting to try to get both of them at once with the shotgun here, but it's kind of a, I don't know, it's kind of a rarity if you do get them together. Alright, and we're gonna make our way through that ladder there. Okay, this is totally not scary right now. Try to do my best to focus here since I'm at really low HP. Whew. Okay. I was more worried about the guard that was sliding along the box in that channel there than the 3 guards that were trading shots above me. Okay, never mind. I should be afraid of them because of what happened to me just then. Remember that being, remember that thing I said about being punched around like a pinball earlier? Yeah, that's what can happen. You know, because the hitbox cooldown when you're punched versus shot, the iframes are not nearly as long, so you can just get hit repeatedly. You know, and unfortunately that's gonna cost me quite a bit of time, but the estimate does take that into consideration, you know, even on a rather unfortunate death like that one. Alright, so fortunately, there are checkpoints that you can use, which in the original game, there are checkpoints, but they're not nearly as many. So it does make parts of the game a little bit aggravating when you have to, you know, redo something, which thankfully it's not as bad in this version of the game. Alright, so at least this time we're in good health bar range. Even if I get shot at, I should be fine. except that guard is blocking the exit, which is not entirely uncommon, but it's a little inconvenient for me. So I just have to take him out. Alright, again, normally you would only go for that med kit just for backup, switch them.
This way!
Oh, I love it. You thought you guys stopped me, but you couldn't stop that rocket. Alright, so we're in the rail yard here, where we got yet another door blocked off with, you know, electric current. And we have to go up to that window to get a line of sight on it. So what we're gonna do is clear our way through gradually while taking out the guards along the way. And before we make our way over to the rail yard, we're just gonna grab some ammo here, conveniently placed for me. You know, I haven't asked this in a while. Which way again?
This way!
Thank you. Alright, so we're just gonna climb on top of the first rail car. Okay, that was kind of risky to do that.
This way!
And I'm taking yet another heavy risk doing this. There was a med kit off to the side, which would have been just as dangerous, but I was hoping not to get shot in the back there. It's why I hate this area and during the run. But thankfully the checkpoint is right where you started, and we'll just have to do it again. Alright, same thing as before. Gonna collect some ammo. Take out this group of 4. And just because I did it before, which way again?
This way!
So helpful. Okay, that guy is just not being nice today, so we're just gonna take him out with a pistol. Alright, I'm gonna try to deal with these guys in a little more cautious manner. For PB world record attempts, you do have to take a lot of risks, where you're having to just roll the dice with roll the dice with this way. No, where you have to roll the dice with them in terms of like the return fire. You know, even just, you know, making these really aggressive turns. Roll the dice with this way. I couldn't have been timed any better, honestly. Alright, so finally made it back. Thankfully, the game gives you a break when you open doors where it gives you iframes. So they don't just shoot you up while you're trying to slowly walk through it. Alright, so we're on the 23rd stage, which is the last one of the factory rail yard. which will then follow with another boss fight. Alright, very conveniently placed turret. So we're just gonna let it shoot forward so it moves it out of the way so I can just conveniently run through. Alright, pretty clear choice right there. And same thing over here. You can try to go that way or go this way. Alright, so for that group right there, I'm gonna take cover on this column. Take out this guard only in the box in front of them. So it creates a path for me to get to the door. Alright, I get the feeling the freight elevator is nearby, but I just want to make sure. Which way to the freight elevator? Good to hear. Alright, so there it is. Alright, so the next boss fight is against Gunt. He uses a rocket launcher. But not only just any ordinary rocket launcher, it's a type of rocket launcher where the shots will kind of, like they'll trace you. Like, they'll kind of curve to follow you. So, thankfully, we can take advantage of his attack pattern where he always fires from right to left. So you can just kind of, you know, attack and evade and repeat. But what's dangerous about that fight is the fact that there are explosive objects nearby, and there's no, like, direct safe cover from him. So it really is a fairly finicky boss fight. So we're on stage 24, which is now the control center. So starting off here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into shoot that box. And I don't know what causes this to happen, but for some reason, when you shoot that box at that time, the guards in that room above you don't see you, and that door that was now just closed stays open. I honestly don't know what causes it to do that. It's something that does work on PS2 Winback very consistently should you do that type of shot. It could technically work on N64 Winback, but it just takes too much time to, you know, clear the path. You know, but for easy any percent on PS2 Winback, it's pretty convenient. On normal, it does not work. You know, since running the game. So I'm assuming it's just a easy any percent benefit. Hey, there are those three from before. You know, I liked how that one guard was just kind of like looking off to the side as I was firing at him. Like, he couldn't really believe what he was seeing. So, we're moving this bridge over so I can get access to a sensor to take out. Alright, so instead of going all the way through, I'm just gonna stay right by the door if I can, even though I'm getting shot at. Alright, unfortunately they shot me away, which is alright. If you stay close to an open door, the door will stay open until you move away or move through it. Just saves you a couple seconds of having to open it twice. Nah, that guy's lying. It's really over here.
This way!
Okay, well this guy was telling you right. It is this way.
Come on!
Being very aggressive today.
This way!
Okay. there's the exit. Alright, so this is probably the... not the longest control center stage, but I think it's like the second longest. Mainly due to the fact that there is a lot of backtracking involved. And some auto-scroller sections. Alright, thank you for opening the door.
Come on! Over here!
Alright, I'm just gonna run through.
This way!
Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line up against this laser, and if done right, I can get a shot on that sensor on the other side of that object there. You know, it just saves you a little bit of time of, you know, going through the other room next to it. Alright, because I'm not feeling super confident in, you know, the guard's abilities of, you know, not killing me everywhere, just gonna grab that med kit. Alright, so while these containers are being moved forward and dropped, I'm just gonna, well, drop him. While also shooting this barrel around this corner to take out two guards that were running through. So up here, normally you want to go up and to the left, but I'm going to trigger this guard spawn by going up and to the right on purpose, so that when I come back later, those guards would have despawned. It's something I found out on accident during a one-run time where I went the wrong way and triggered that guard spawn, but then when I came back, I then realized that they were no longer there. So it was kind of a really convenient way of avoiding, you know, a guard trigger. Alright, so that's gonna lift a container in that corner of the room. So I gain access to a panel to, you know, leave this area. Not the stage quite yet. We still got quite a bit of stage to go. So we're gonna make our way back up. Okay, I don't know why I was kind of waffling there. Alright, so we're gonna activate this panel to move the containers back. And before I get slid into that death trap, I'm just gonna clear it open with that box. And take out this group of 4 guards that come in. Alright, there we go. Doors open.
This way!
Okay, I was trying to do a quick to snap headshot, but they weren't having it. Alright, so what I'm gonna do here is go behind this container and I'm gonna shoot at this rocket fortification, or the turret fortification with the rocket. Honestly, a rocket fortification sounds terrifying. Alright, just gonna... No, not listen to that guy. Gonna roll into this trigger point. Just evade the guards. Okay, I know they're trying to tell me this way, but I assure you it is not that way. They're just tricking you.
Over here! This way!
Okay. this is dangerous again. This way. Alright, thankfully I touched that ladder before I got shot. Otherwise the checkpoint would have been pretty far back. Okay, that is the unluckiest cover shot I've ever taken where I got shot immediately soon after. Alright, so I'm just gonna grab that med kit. Stop! Grab the shotgun shells. Wow, very nice shooting, Jean-Luc. You know, the kind where you just shoot right into the corner of the wall. Alright, so what I'm gonna do here is try to roll and evade past their gunfire, which, if done right, you can kind of cut that corner. It just saves you having to try to go around the long way. You know, avoid avoid fewer guards. And then we're gonna send this container back over. Alright, and this will give us access to another control panel. Alright, and then what this is going to do, it's going to unlock some doors where they go from red to blue, as indicated right there. And that'll unlock to the end of the stage.
Over here!
Which will be going up against one of my favorite bosses in the game. Alright, so say hello to Banderas, everyone. Dual-wielding SMG. He's got the place rigged with explosive barrels. Thinking he's got the better of me, I'm just gonna roll underneath. He's gonna retreat into the next room. And as we trade shots, guards are gonna get spawned in. And then they're the ones who trigger the explosives, so I don't have to deal with them. And then I just continue to trade shots with them. Wait for it.
What the hell is happening? It sucks. It really sucks.
One of the best dialogues in the game. Alright, so I'm gonna try something a little bit different here, especially considering the state of the run right now and a lot of the unfortunate setbacks I've had. Alright, so I'm gonna try to go a different place here in the routing. Okay, I think I got the right guy. Alright, good, because if I did not stop that guy that was in black, that was running across the hallway, what would happen is they would lock the door right behind you, which is normally giving you access to this part of the central shaft here. Yeah, that's right, this way! Alright, so I'm gonna set up another laser skip here. Okay, I think I got it. Very nice. Alright, so that right there... Well, okay, I don't know why the camera just did that. It was like a panoramic opening of the door. So opening the... Well, being able to skip that laser saves you at least a couple minutes of a lot of backtracking to just disable that sensor, which we come across my next favorite boss fight of the game, which is against Jin. Runs around, has a very maniacal laughter, throws explosive darts, but on occasion shoots a pistol back at you. Yeah, there's that pistol. that guy is, he's something. Alright, so we're just gonna open that door. Okay, well, not do what that guy says, and roll into the end of the stage. Okay, so what we did there in context of, you know, the plot of the game is we activated power to an elevator, which is what we were trying to reach to earlier, you know, where it gets us to the final area of the game. And so Jean-Luc was the one that went out to try to reactivate it, because Jake and Lisa are also in here trying to make their way to the control room.
Over here!
Okay, I guess Jean-Luc just wasn't keen on aiming at him right away. Hello there. Normally those two keep running, but the fact that they stopped to start shooting at me was a little scary. Yeah, normally they keep running. You're able to shoot one of the two in the back, and then the other one posts up against that door.
Come on! Over here!
Okay, I was just about to mention it, but then I said to myself I wouldn't mention it because of how scary it would be if it did happen. Sometimes when you climb that ladder in that particular fashion while getting attacked, there's a chance that when you climb out the other side, not only would you take damage, but you can often die when you load into the next screen after climbing the ladder. It's rare, it can happen. I'm glad that it didn't kill me this time. I've lost a PB because of it one time. Okay, I was expecting that guy to call for backup when he moved out, but luckily for me, he didn't. Alright, so unfortunate for me, there's no med kit off to the side this time, so I'm gonna have to... be a little careful. Alright, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go to this corner, go back, because this guard gets spawned in only on PS2 Winback, and what would happen if you didn't do that is you would get ambushed and then get knifed in the back.
Over here!
You know, it's pretty aggravating. Kind of showcasing the cover system for a change. Alright, so I'm gonna get this med kit right here. Make that corner turn, which I did. So we're in that same area from before, but except this time we're gonna be going off to the left. Instead of, you know, circling back into the right. You know, because one of the containers that were lifted up was from a button panel that I just that I turned on earlier when I nearly died climbing that ladder. All right, and for safety, I'm just gonna grab this med kit. Thanks for guarding the ladder. Okay, thankfully for me, he kept the door open by staying next to it. And same deal as before, I'm gonna go to this corner and it's gonna trigger this guard. Oh, Normally I would use the SMG for this, but since I'm low on ammo, I'm gonna have to do this the hard way. Okay, so I'm gonna pick up that ammo. Now for this area, I'm just gonna run continuously through it while hugging the left corners here. And by doing so, it'll get you to this door which opens right as you arrive. And it'll also keep you away from the guard that's trying to chase you with a knife. Alright, stage 29. So we're nearly at the end of the run. We only have a few stages left, with stage 30 as the longest one of the game. Also the one where, in my book, it's where runs go to die. There's just so many obstacles you gotta get through, and any one of them, depending on what happens, can kill a good run. Which I'm gonna remain cautiously optimistic when we get there. Alright, so our next boss fight here is Death Mask. He uses dual pistols. He's got 2 guards for backup, which we're gonna deal with them first. Alright, so Death Mask, despite how cool looking he is, isn't very bright. By taking cover in a corner where there's, for some reason, a pile of explosive barrels there, which you can detonate against him. Take about a good third of his health away. Sounds like me when I'm not on caffeine. Alright, so that was Death Mask. So we're finally at the pinnacle moment of the run, where if you're on PB pace, world record pace, you're praying that the stage goes smoothly. Alright, so the way I would describe stage 30 is it's a never-ending, frustrating gauntlet, you know, which are divvied up into different challenges. You know, some that are trap-based, some that just have non-stop swarm of guards. Sometimes both. Ah, thank you. Rude. Alright, so I'm gonna sit and wait this out for a bit, since there's a shutter that's gonna open behind me where I can shoot out a sensor.
Good way.
I was waiting for a target lock, but okay. Alright, fortunately there's a med kit just around the corner here. Alright, there's the med kit. You know, a lot of them do seem to know the way. See? Okay, that was a very, very godlike headshot. I don't usually get that one. Alright, so I'm just gonna run past them. Do not even try to go for the med kit in the middle of the room. It is suicide.
Over here.
Oh, excuse me, fellas. Do you happen to know the way?
Come on.
I don't know, maybe they asked if I thought something was free and they got offended. Alright, just gonna grab the ammo from those two. And I'm gonna carefully do a stagger shot on that guard there. Otherwise, you'll get knifed if you try to hug the rail and go past them. Ow. So normally an area like this would you would look at it for the first time and say, man, double turret fortification. It's pretty long between there and there, not a lot of cover. Seems pretty intimidating. Well, thankfully for us, not only do we have this really nice cover here to begin with, we can also shoot ever so carefully right in the middle. We can, and I got it. So for some reason there's a gap in between one of the fortifications there, which happens to hit a set of barrels, which again, they just seem to leave barrels everywhere. I mean, they're like, all right, we got this, you know, we got containers, containers, turrets, you know, we got plenty of ammo. Not, you know, the guy's not gonna get through. Well, what about all these explosive barrels? Ah, just leave them over there. Well, somebody didn't think that through very well. Alright, I'm just gonna reload all my weapons. Alright, I'm just gonna stay right here, take out these two. Then in this room, I'm going to use the SMG right away. Shoot the set of barrels right there. Otherwise, what would happen is it would move the crane over to where you would be, and it detonates the barrels on you. However, you can use it against them if you're quick at firing at them when you load into the room. Alright, so we're gonna use our final rocket against that turret fortification right there. And as I run over, the turret's gonna try to fire at me while weakening the box in the middle, making it easier for me to get through. And so, like I was saying from before, the rocket was limited use, so when the ammo runs out, it disappears from your inventory. It's not like, you know, the other weapons where even if you're empty, it'll still remain there. But there's no further use for the rocket at this point. Alright, last difficult area of the run, which is going to be a series of laser traps and guards. First is going to be lowering one of the shutters while disabling that sensor. Taking out those two guards so I can lower this shutter. And then a pair of guards will spawn in. Normally you could ignore those two, but I'm trying to be a little conservative at this point with what I'm about to do. So I'm gonna take out that guy first, followed by the other one. Okay, that's not gonna work. I was trying to do a laser skip there, but because I got hit pretty badly, I would end up dying rather than doing the fall through, so I'm gonna have to default to the old strat, which is, you know, taking out the laser, doing this trick shot, as I would call it. It is slower, but it beats having to redo this section, which would have ended up happening. So the laser you gotta take out is right there. Just quickly aim at it. Trying to evade that moving laser is scarier than it looks.
Over there!
I just did that just for the heck of it. You don't have to do anything to them, but it's just funny using their own lasers against them. Alright, so we're gonna trigger these guards, take cover. Alright, and we're now in this section. Trying to get as many as I can with the shotgun, which I'm doing fairly well, actually. I mean, this is kind of unheard of, getting that many. Alright, so what I'm trying to do is just clear my way up to the front corner of this laser trap, and what's going to be on the other side of that big box there is a sensor that controls that. Oh, and that elevator right there? That is the express elevator. You know, the one that Ryan destroyed earlier. Would have saved a lot of time if you didn't do that. Alright, last stage of the game, last two boss fights. First one up, Commander Dan. Former leader of the SCAT team, which we're going to be using not only our handgun, but these barrels throughout the room. Alright, and then we're just going to slowly close the gap here while just trading shots with them. Alright, normally for a speed run, you skip all the cutscenes, right? But this one, I have to play out.
I knew you were good, Jean-Luc, but...
Tell me, Dan, why did you do it?
Yeah, why did you do it?
Fate, Jean-Luc.
Fate?
That's right. Fate. You probably don't know this, but I'm half Sarkozian.
Sarkozian? As in from Sarkozia?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not gonna play the rest of that, but that cutscene alone is why the voice acting being added in is like such a huge plus in terms of you know, a comedy. I mean, because not only did they misspell Sarkozian, but they misspelled it multiple times. All right, so that's Cecile. Use a turret, and that was Cecile.
Impossible. I am invincible.
Oh, that's what he thought. Cecile is by far the easiest boss in the game. He just dies to the turret in 2 hits. I mean, as I think it was intended, so with, you know, the turrets being there. If you try to shoot it out with them with the handgun, it would take a lot longer. So, just gonna skip through the rest of the cutscenes. Except for this one. So, like I said earlier, there are multiple endings to Winback. By speedrunning the game, you're incentivized automatically to, you know, get the good ending, which is basically getting to the control center in less than 3 hours. Lisa will survive. And you get to ride off into the sunset, board the chopper. Mission accomplished. Alright, so our final time is 1:43:56. It does exceed the estimate I set out for 140. But given some of the unfortunate setbacks to the run, I think it was fairly decent for a submission recording. I do wish I didn't have as many deaths, but thank you for watching this run, and I look forward to doing more of these in the future.